how much do you want to make? You're not going to make, the average player is not going to make $1 million playing basketball professionally overseas. That's a fact. I would say about 70 to 80% of people who play overseas basketball will never touch $1 million for playing the game in their career.
What are you thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking? Yeah. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah. What are you thinking? Hey. What are you thinking? Hey. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah.
Welcome back to another edition of the Arnold's Thoughts podcast. I am your host, Arnold Lewis. If this is your first time, I help athletes prepare mentally for a life of overseas basketball. Thank you for joining the show. We got a lot to unpack today, but I always like to start off with this. If this is your first time, please do me a huge favor. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and share this with a hooper out there who want to one day play the game of overseas basketball and they're looking for a place to start. That's what I'm here for, man. This is the Arnold Thoughts podcast on the ATP network. And I just want to say, man, I'm grateful today, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very, very extravagant today. We're just going to start off right there. I'm feeling very extravagant today. Why? Because it is a state of being that we must start learning to live in at all times. As basketball players, as human beings in general, we have to understand that our gratefulness takes us further than anything else in life. So I downloaded this audio program from this guy. This is a guy named Reverend Ike. And he was an old pastor back in like the 80s. And he's always talking mindset and money mindset and these types of things. And I was like, man, I gotta buy one of his programs because I'm the type of person that I like to listen to programs and listen to them over and over and over. And that's basically personal development. And like, if this is your first time to the show, first time hearing this is a lot about personal development. To be the best basketball player or whatever you want to be, you have to first personally get that personal development down first, because it's really who you are inside and what you become inside is what's going to dictate how good of a player you decide to be. So we talk a lot about personal development and just that inner work inside of what we have to do. And I just want to be real a lot of times and transparent, because a lot of times people believe that you say, oh, you're doing inside work, that it just happens and you just got it all together. No. It's the fact that you understand I need to change something, and I'm not going to just neglect the fact that I need to change some things in my life to just get better, to earn more, to become a better person, become a better basketball player. Just some things inside of me that I gotta change. There's some things inside of me that I have to let go. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with some growth. All that is called growth. And there is nothing wrong with that. I don't want anyone ever to let you believe that you growing and people are staying in their same dead place and don't want to grow. Don't let that discourage you. Don't let that get to you, because people are going to try to pull you down. Like, if you do not weed your garden, take people out that are negative around you, then you won't be able to, they won't be able to see how great you are. The beautiful flower, the beautiful essence that you are, because you're too surrounded by too many weeds. That's bad conversations, that's listening to something crazy, that's, toxic relationships, that's, the addictions, that's all that. There's so much things to unpack when it comes to just trying to better yourself. And I never want to try to take anything for granted, or anyone that you might think that people who come like online or on podcast and they're talking that they are at a place that they're better than you are. And it's not like that. It's just a point that some people understand that they change their mind. They change their mind to the point that they want something different, and they're going to start the process. And that's all it is, because once you start, you've taken the intention and the ignition. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. But you're taking the steps to better yourself. taking steps to better yourself, and once one step comes, there comes another, and you just start. That's what it's called, a journey, because you start taking your steps to better yourself, to doing it, and it's gonna suck a lot of the time because you're changing who you are and who you've been and what you've been doing for so long. So it's gonna suck because it's hard. But just being on the journey of just growing and developing yourself, it's a great journey, because there's gonna come a point where something that you've been doing for so long and you're gonna feel like, man, this not even working. This is not even working, and then boom. You're gonna just some situation's gonna happen, and you're gonna notice something, you're gonna see something, or something's gonna happen that you know if you weren't doing what you were supposed to be doing to better develop yourself, you wouldn't have been able to see it. But the fact that you actually took the time and all the things that they say to do, the meditation, or the visualization, or finding the inner peace and all that, and it actually works out in the situation in front of you live, it's a different feeling. It's a different feeling because you understand now, like, this is real. And it makes you want to do it. It's like that little token finally, and then it makes you want to just keep going further. And like, now, it does actually work. I do actually see this happening. I do actually hear people talking about these steps that I'm stuck on right now, and now I can see past them. That's the road, bro. It's just keep going on the road that you're on, and don't let anybody discourage you for whatever process of the road that you're in. Because everybody's in a different part of their road. You can't judge yourself by what somebody else is doing or where they're at in their road. Just don't compare. I was listening to a podcast, excuse me, on the Social Proof podcast, and the guy was talking. He was like, man, he did like 10-figure exits and like sold two companies for like 9 figures, 10 figures, something crazy. Was it 10 figures? 9 figures, just ridiculous amount of money. He was just like, man, and dude was like 39. He was like, man, you thought to be 39 and I'm this. And he was like, are you comparing? You can't compare. You cannot compare where somebody's at their age, at their time, and what they've done to where they're at to where you're at. Me and my friend, we talk about it all the time, and he was like, he glad he didn't get the money that he is trying to get now, because if he did, he'd probably be dead. He'll probably be dead. He'll probably be in jail on something, because sometimes you can't receive certain things because you're just not ready for it. Can't give it to you because you're not ready for it. And it's mostly when we are out seeking something we desire really bad. When you really want something really bad, it seems like, man, it's just never going to come to me, and I'm doing all this and I'm doing right, and I'm doing all these things to try to like change my life, and none of this is happening, man. Yep. It's because now we're actually moving with a purpose. You know what I mean? Are you interested in playing overseas basketball one day? I wish someone would have told me 1 year after college I would receive my first pro gig. I wish someone would have told me that having an agent does not guarantee that you will get hired. I wish someone would have told me being cut from a team, because after 10 years in this game, everyone gets cut from a team. Now, after traveling from over 17 different countries and winning up to 7 championships in my pro career, I've put together the 6 most important traits any player needs before starting their career. So go ahead and grab that ebook and get all the information you need today to start your career. Now you can't say no one didn't let you know. So go ahead, grab that ebook and get started so you can become the pro one day. Let's go. So we're going to move on to this next segment. This segment is called Fact Over Feelings. Have you thought about the decisions you want out of your life? In this segment of Fact Over Feelings, we have to ask that question. Have you thought about the things that you want for your life? Because a lot of times we make decisions in life based on false perceptions. What false perception that you thought that you wanted out of your life that didn't happen for you? What did you think about when you obtained the thing that you said that you wanted? Allegedly. Because I was recently speaking with a friend, and I say this, I'm always going to refer a friend because I'm never going to call nobody out, but it be moments and times in life that you see things happening and you know it relates to every single body, and everybody's going through the same type of situation in life. Because once you really get into understanding and being more aware of things in life, you just see the patterns of when things happen. And once you start realizing the patterns, you start understanding like, well, you made that decision, but you didn't really think about the consequences to it. So when you thought about what you wanted for your life, is this what you foresee? Is this what you thought it was going to be like? You know? And it's like a moment, and it made me think in that moment, it was like, well, have you really thought what you wanted for your life? Have you really sat down, made a plan, and understand what comes with that? And I think we do a lot of times is we just don't really understand the choices of our actions. I think that comes with time, you know. Clearly, I didn't really care about the choices of my actions when I was out drinking and I got a DUI because I was drinking in college. Wasn't really caring about the choices of my actions. Still a lot of things to this day I can sit back and say, maybe I shouldn't do that. Sometimes I might still do it. Choices. So I'm saying that because I'm not above anybody to sit here and say that I don't still be caught up in that moments too, where I'm like, dang, have I really thought about the decisions that you want in your life? Me personally, I've reached a definite decision. Ooh, that sounds good from the book, Think You Grow Rich. But I know I came to a definite decision to finally, like, I got it. You know, like, I know what I want out of my life, and I'm just trying to work backwards. And build from a certain point. Okay, I got this point. I need to see what I need to get to this point. And then I just map out each like layers, you know, and once I just, okay, now I gotta go. Now I got another goal, and every single time I'm in a conversations with someone, or every single time it comes up, I'm always able to refer back to the same building blocks, the same plan every single time. That's how I know I have decided what I want out of my life, because the story always lines up. Does your story always line up with what you say? No matter the situations when things change. Because there's been moments where things have changed along with what I thought was going with my life, but the main foundation never changed. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to grow this, I'm going to earn this, I'm going to have this life. The people around me may change, close to me, people passed away. Like, there's a lot of things that happen out of my control, in my control, that you just can't, some things you just can't even, you can't handle it. But does it mess up the foundation? I remember one of my friends, he told me straight up, and it's like these little nuggets along the road people tell you to keep you going, that keeps them going. He was like, you're probably one of the most consistent person I know, because I was with you when you went through a breakup and you was going through it, and you was like, you got every reason to stop. You didn't have a contract, you was sitting at home, you didn't have no bread, you know what I'm saying? You just broke up with someone that you was really cared for, and you still made sure you post every single day a video, and you made sure you stayed on your grind. You made sure you trained 3 times a day, running in the morning. Like, you stuck with the foundation. And that's why Ray said, you're talking about, you know, fact over feelings. Like, the facts of what I know that I want out of my life did not allow my feelings to get in the way of that. And that's why we ask these questions, like, what are you gonna do, or what is it that you want that will not, like, what's the foundation? What is the foundation of the dreams, of the goals, of the life that you say that you want? What is that foundation? You know, what good fears do you have about building your foundation? Like, what are the good fears? You know, if I build this, what if I can get $100 million? If I build this, I could build this company and I can get $100 million. For someone who has never gotten that, I've never gotten that yet. Yeah, your words are powerful, use them right. So, if I build this to 100 million, like, it's a sensation that's kind of gives you a fear because you've never had that experience before. You don't know what that feels like. So it's almost as like a fear, but it's a good fear to make me work. It's like an anxious. I don't want to really call it a fear, but it's like an anxious that you want, like, what is it going to be like? You're so anxious. That's why I call it a good fear. I think that's what really anxious is, a good fear. For something good to happen, like, what if I actually do this? What if I actually create what I need to create? What if I actually become who I need to become? And what if I actually get the life that I want? What is the foundation to that life that I want, that I'm seeking for, that I'm willing to risk good things in my life for? Because you're gonna have to sacrifice, something's gonna be sacrificed. Especially in the beginning, to get to where you want and get the things out of your life. Something along the way has to be sacrificed. It's gonna be time, it's gonna be family. It's normally all the same things. Majority, the biggest thing is time away from family. You got a job that's probably taking you across state. You probably got a job like mine, just taking you out the country for so long. I don't get to spend time with my daughter like I want to. We gotta have a phone relationship for about 6-7 months. It's just so many things that you have to account for to what? Build a dream. If I don't go out and I don't become a good and do my work, when, for what I say that I am a legendary basketball player. So I have to then work like a legendary basketball player. That means I have to do the work of what a legend would do. That means the extra work. That means the work that nobody sees. That means the getting up and the running and the extra, whatever extra, the working out 3 times a day, no matter in the cold, whatever it takes. That's the mindset I must have. Why? Because I'm changing this time for time away from my daughter. That I can't grow and just pour completely into her because I'm still living my dream. And that dream has to be able to make sense for why I'm leaving her. So to get my new dream, which is us to be together and we can travel together, and every country I go to, I'm able to bring her there and she can experience a different life as well and live it with me. I'm gonna have to make more money. So I better make sure I do the intangibles in the beginning, which is work my butt off to become the best basketball player I can be, and build a platform and build a business and build an empire for myself and my family and my daughter, so that you understand this is why I had to take a little bit of time away and build this, so we can have this new life where we're always together and we can put what we sacrifice, which is the time that we didn't have, to have as much time as we want. Because everybody has a restriction. Normally it's money. Normally it's money is a restriction because you can't just get up and pop off and just leave. I was talking to my best friend about that. I was just like, I want to just be able to get up and go to Monaco. I want to get up and just say, let's go to Japan for the summer. Let's go to, Thailand and go ride the elephants in the ocean. Let's go, skydiving. Let's go take a trip to Hawaii. Whatever. You don't blink twice. How many people would just say they can do that? That's the type of life that I want at all times. At all times. But there are certain things that you're going to have to do. What's your foundation? It has to start at the foundation. What's the foundation that's going to get you there? So when you're thinking about the things that you want out of your life, you got to start asking yourself, what is the foundation that will get you there? That no feelings, nothing will get in the way of stopping you from getting there. Start with that foundation. Start by building that up. And make sure that no matter what happens, will not stop, and that was going to push you and ultimately bring you up to where you want to be and take you where you want to go and give you the life that you want. Look, that's all I got for this section on fact over feelings. That was just my take on that. You know, what are you doing to get the life that you want? Moving on, man. We're gonna go into another section. The other section today I have is keys to the game. And on this segment of keys to the game, I want to talk about what is your exit strategy. What is the exit strategy? For those guys that's out here that's just playing. I bring this up because there's a guy that I recently just played against in the playoffs. Just played against him in the playoffs, and I kind of know where he's played in different places a little bit, because when you start playing in certain areas and certain leagues, you see everybody and where they're playing, how they're recycled, and you kind of get to know them. You start following on Instagram, you start finding out more about their life. Typical, right? So I found this dude that he's basically just been bouncing around and just playing like almost year round. And I know he's kind of like around my age. I don't know his situation. That's why I'm talking about this. I don't know what his situation is. And I'm just wondering, like, some guys will play in whatever league just to get money for whatever, like, because that might be his exit strategy. I'm finna just run it up as much as I can. I have one of my mentors, the first mentor guy that I ever had here in Chile, Tater. And when he came from playing, he was like, man, I'm about to retire. Right when he's about to retire, he got a contract to go play for $30,000 in China for the summer. Right after that, he came back to Chile for like $4,000. And then he finished there and he went to the second division of Chile and probably got like another $2,000 a month. So it's like, he knew his exit strategy. I'm just finna run it up and play wherever until it's done, because when I'm done, I'm done. You know? And I would say that because I think about this guy and I'm like, what is your exit strategy to all this? Because you have to have a plan to be able to get something out of this game of basketball. Like, I see guys playing, but it's like, are you really building an exit for yourself? Because I had friends like that before. He was like, man, I'm gonna play till I'm like 30. This when I was younger. And he was like, man, I'm gonna play till like I'm 30, 31, and then you know what, I'm done. And I was just like, how long? 30, 31, you done? I mean, I'm about to turn 34 or so, and even still, I'm like, huh? 30 something, you done? It's weird to me when I see younger guys retiring. And it's like, because they don't have that strategy. And that's why I want to really explain, like, or really express, is what is your strategy? What is your exit strategy? You have to know your exit strategy before you start. You have to know exactly what your exit strategy before you start, because in this game, you're gonna have to measure yourself. Some guys, they're measured on different meters. No matter what you think of the guy that you played on the same AAU team and he didn't go crazy, guess what? That guy's probably overseas right now in some league making about $1 million, 700, 800,000 a month. And y'all was just in the same team, and you're probably getting like 4. That's that man's life. His strategy is different from your strategy. And that's one thing I know for sure, especially as hoopers, they always talk about somebody's pockets. When I say I don't know what it is about basketball players and other, you know, he making this and he making this. My man's told me that him over here, that his coach knew the agent because they boys, and he told me that he was only getting this when he was over there, so you know they ain't got no money like that. So what you got, you know, I don't really want to mess with him because I heard my other man's whose friend said that he got like such and such when he got from, so that means they kinda got why we like that? Why we like that? And it's just like it messes guys up so much because they pocket watch it. Pocket watch it. Stop pocket watching, because that does not help you. In this game, we need all the help you can, because we're already dealing with a lot of bad mental aspects when it comes to the game, as such as not knowing how to manage our money, not really taking the right financial advice, not having a strategy for how we're going to even have our career. How much do you want to make? You're not going to make, the average player is not going to make $1 million playing basketball professionally overseas. That's a fact. I would say about 70 to 80% of people who play overseas basketball will never touch $1 million for playing the game in their career. Yes. So what is your strategy for how much money you're gonna make? And give yourself a number. That's a great question that no one ever asked me. You don't have a breakdown of what is that range. Like, okay, if you're a doctor, these type of doctors range about this amount. So they'd be like, well, if I work for 15, 20 years, I should be able to make this. And if I make this amount of investments, you can actually come out with a strategy for your career. What's the average life expectancy of an overseas basketball player? That's a great question that I don't even know. But I know it's very low. I would say, if I can guess, the average life expectancy of an overseas basketball player is 4 years. 3.5 to 4 years. I think it's like 3.5 to 4 years. So you really got to ask yourself, what is your plan in the first 4 years? What is your goal to make money? Because you got to think about some guys, they just come and they play, and they could be like, well, I could just come, since I still love the game, I still can play. Let me just come, and then I'm getting offered this contract for like $4,500. If I could do that for, like, 4 years, 5 years, I'll play this game. If I could get close to this much, between 4 to 6 for these 5 years, tax free, and use the time to go. See, we getting too deep. I gotta put that. We gotta have like a private group to talk about that and really break that down for y'all, man. Because that's too. That's like getting very deep into it. You know what I mean? Let's see how we can get you to hit your numbers so you can have the money to make the investment and the time, what you're gonna learn for what you're gonna learn afterwards, or what you're working on and what you're gonna work on in the summer when you get home. So that's your exit strategy. Okay, well, if I do this and invest this amount of money, if I make 4 over 5 years, you know what I mean? Average months is about 8 months a season in this league. If I just stay here, do my best to stay here, I make around 4 to 5. So let's just say 5 over these years. That's 40. That's around like 40 a year. 40 a year plus the extra 3 years, extra 3 months. I'm sorry, so you're looking at about 65. So you say, okay, I'm gonna make about 65 to 60,000 for the next 5 years. That's $300,000. What am I gonna be able to do to invest, save, and live off of these $300,000 for the next 5 years? What happens if I don't get this money and my number is at this much? So you can fluctuate. So you have a goal, say, okay, well, I know I'm gonna have a lot of free time, so let me learn something that I really like to do that when I'm done with this. Let me figure out what I want to do with my life in this time. And let me take 10%, 5% of my money and just put it in a high yield savings account so it can just grow over the next 5 years that I don't have to touch. Put it in a 5-year note. Now I got money that I'm sitting on that's actually saving and investing and growing. So when I get done and I actually have my time and now I'm ready to go out, I got my exit strategy. I was able to invest. I had my numbers. I had my targets. I already knew what I was studying on. I had time to find out what I like. I had time to find out something that can help me when it's done. I can already be starting on that with all the free time I'm gonna get. I can use the summers to work on the thing that I'm going to work on from when I'm done, so I can already been started with that while I'm playing, and I get to play for this certain amount of time, and then I work on my business or whatever, or I study a little bit, or I just do this other side part that's going to really help me when I'm done and I was able to get the money while still playing the game, knowing I ain't going to want to do this forever though. I wish somebody would have came and told me that plan from the jump. It would have changed the whole trajectory of my career. It would have changed the whole trajectory of my career if someone would have just told me that from the beginning. Like just that little breakdown, someone would have told me that would have changed the game for me. So what is your exit strategy? That's the key to the game. And start thinking for this segment, man, what is your exit strategy? Moving on, man. Moving on to the next part of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about the season. So as of right now, we are currently in the playoffs. We're in the Final Four. Listen, I've been seeing this in my mind, and I've just been projecting. I want to say projecting. It's just I see it as clear as day. I see it every single day. I'm so fully focused on winning this Final Four. We got 2 games to win it. We are on our home court. It's the Copa Chile, and I just feel it, man. I just feel it so bad. I want it so bad. I want to win the Copa Chile so bad. I'm thinking about it every single day. I visualize on it. I write it down. So I read this article on Medium. There's an article, and the dude was like, manifest anything you want. And I'm definitely big on that. By the way, if you guys want to pick up my free video that I did, it's like a breakdown training on how to manifest 7 championships. Basically how I manifested 7 championships. So I really believe this manifestation and visualization. And at the time, I didn't really know what I was doing. I really didn't understand how all these things came into being. And it's like once I really started tapping into it, understanding like, oh, you must, to writing it down. I always go back to I can't remember what episode I've done so long ago, but it was basically saying, I wrote down in my phone in the notes, and I said that I should start a YouTube channel talking about the life of an overseas basketball player. And 3 years later, I'm doing this right now, talking about my life as an overseas basketball player. And I put it on YouTube. Who would have known if I would have started earlier, you know? So now I understand that what I do and what I pay attention on and what I write, and you know, those are what come to be. And also understanding what comes to be comes because I put more intention on striving for those things that I want. That's why they are more drawn to me. Not that, I write it down and it happens by default. No, because I still have to buy a camera. I still have to go buy the lights and do research and try to formulate my speech and get information and take classes and get mentors and take certain things so I can grow to be good at the thing that I see that I want to do. You know, I don't want to just be on here and just give y'all bad content. That's the last thing. How you do anything is how you do everything. So I do the best of my ability to give you guys great content, you know, great information, and let you guys have a great time. You know, I'm learning and growing every single day doing this by myself. You know, there is no one else here. It's just me. I set it up. I do the social media. I do all the posting. I post like 4 or 5 times a day trying to grow my brand. I edit the podcast. I make the videos. I post a video every single day. I post like a reel every single day on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. Like, if you have to do the work for the thing that you say that you want. And I understood that because I understood that I really wanted to have this show or this network. I didn't know I wanted it to this extent. As I was doing it, I understood, I know I want to grow this area. And I want my lighting to be like that. And I want the background to be like that. And I want this to be like that. You know, I grow with the show. And it's like I'm growing as a person all at one time. So the intention of all the little things I do for the show that helps me out as a person as well, so the show can be better. So that's what I really believe in the manifesting like I have in my book, you know, is you have to believe in yourself first. I believe that I could do this. I believe that I wanted this. But then the second part in my book is work ethic. You also have the work ethic because faith without works, like I have faith is I believe in it and I know it. I have faith in it. But without works, it's dead. So then I have to have the work ethic to learn the equipment and learn the lighting and learn to see which ones is better and do these types of things to make it better so I can give as much value as I possibly can in the stage that I am. And I think that's what matters the most is what you put into the effort for what you have at your disposal. And I think that resonates more with people and resonates more because it's like you're not doing it for, you're doing the best you can. And normally people love for when people do the best they can because that's all they can give in that moment. And they just, I want to just give my best. So going back to being in the Final Four, I wrote down that I want to win the championship this year, and I didn't think it was gonna happen because I didn't win when I was in Argentina. Then I went to Chile for Los Angeles right after that, so I'm like, oh, I got another chance. It's gonna be tough, but I got another chance. Didn't happen. Then I was about to go to Colombia. All that nonsense happened. I didn't end up going to Colombia where I got stopped at the border and they didn't let me in. So then I'm like, how am I going to win a championship? And what championship is going to end it this year for me to even win it? Because anything from this point on is already part of the next year's season. But lo and behold, that was one of my goals for this year. I've been working out and training. I always say, if anything, I train for the championship. I'm never training to just play. I'm training to be a champion. Every time I step on that court. That is just my mindset. That is just the way that I structure my life to have a championship, legendary mindset to where it's like I'm going to do everything I have to do for the result that I said that I want. And I wrote down I want to win the championship. And now I have the opportunity right in front of me. It's so close I can actually feel it and taste it. It's so close I want that trophy. I can see it right in front of me. I can see me and my team on the court dancing like we always do, cheering. We're holding the trophy. We're on our own court. I can see it. I want it like bad. And I'm saying it here right now. Anybody hearing it, we're going to win this championship. I'm making it live. We're going to win this championship. And I'm going to run it back and say, I told you so. I'm speaking it into existence. This is how I'm making it real even more. And I believe in it that much that we are going to win this championship. We're going to win this championship. And I'm just so excited. It's just a great focal point in my life to have something right in front of me that I've been wanting, and it's just working and it's just moving, and I just gotta just constantly stay grateful and thanking God and for just allowing me to be in the situation that I sought after. I want that championship. I wrote that down. I wrote it down for a reason. And then going back to that article, so in the article the guy was like, okay, if you want to manifest everything, what you have to do is you just have to write it down for 5 days, 55 times each day. And then let it go, And it was just talking about how when you get to day 3, you're burnt out, it's like so many emotions you go through the days for doing that, for just writing out. So think about it, write something out. So I wrote, I am MVP and champion of Copa Chile 2023. And I wrote today was day 4. So I wrote all of day 4. And then tomorrow will be the 5th day. And once you get to like day 4, you got the energy about you. Because like you feel it now, because you gotta think about it. I already wrote it 4 days in a row, 55 times. So that does something to you internally. You start to feel it because you're actually putting the energy into writing something. So your brain is focused on something you're putting down so much. I understand the concept of it. It almost makes it to the point that you put it down so much and so consecutively that your brain is like, okay, this is going to happen. And then your brain starts putting you in situations to do things for your result to happen. Because first your mind has to accept it. It has to accept it. And my mind been accepted. And I would do any and everything on top of that even more. To accept it even more. but it is also a fact of it's already there, so you just gotta live your life. Let it go. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I'm in that sensation. I'm in that feeling. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that. Sometimes I gotta restrain myself and calm myself down because I be like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play right now. I'm just so juiced. Finals. I have never lost in a finals in my life. If I make it to the final game, I'm going. I could only go on the history of my life. And that's why I'm so fired up, because I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so close. And I feel it. And then, like, I was in training today. The coach was like, you know, you've been training, you play a lot, so you can take a rest, an extra day. Rest? My rest is when I hit the weight room and I get this work in with the team. I got a bed. I got some air boots. Air compression boots. Y'all let me know if y'all need them air compression boots. I definitely got the hookup on that. Just DM me boots. Write me boots. My Instagram and socials are always gonna be in the links. Just hit me up. I already got the air compression boots. Hit me up. It's essential. That's how I'm able to stay in tip-top shape. That's how I'm able to play at a high level. Like, let's just be real. Like, right now I'm having a great season. With all the work that I do and all the stuff that I've done to allow me to be in this position, that's why, once it happened, I'm not looking at it like, oh, I just did something quick and this happened. No. The reason I feel the sensation and I feel so good about it is because all the work I've done leading up to this. I deserve this. Our team deserved this because I've been doing all the work, even when I was at home, even when I have to get up at 4:30 to make sure I get up to pray first and then go run 2 miles and then go work at some random job on, just to make sure I got some bread for the day to hold me over until a job comes, and making sure it's been times I was down to my last $15. Like my last $15, but I'm like, okay, to get in the gym is $3. So if I get in the gym, I can pay for me and my cousin. That's $6. I got $9. I get something to drink and throw the rest on the tank. I'm gonna get back and forth. That's gonna allow me to be able to get to the next gig, work that day, and now I'm back good to hold me over till I get back to the gym. My foundation never changed. I knew I had to stay close to the game as possible. Going outside, training outside, getting shots up, wind blowing. And you'd be like, why do you do all that? You're like, how can you train in these conditions? Since I've arrived, I've been the best player here. I'm averaging the most points. Our team won like 8-1 the last few games. We got the finals coming to our home. I won like 6 or 7 MVP per game since I've been here. I'm having a stellar career. I'm having a stellar season since I got here. I'm playing at a high level, feeling great. That don't happen if I didn't take the time back then, like all those time leading up to this, like in the summer, training, making sure I run, still going to do my podcast. You gotta think about it. Some days I have to get up 4:30, get up, go run, hit the weight room, drive an hour and a half to go work an odd job, come back, record the podcast, edit the podcast, upload it. The next day, go train. Next day, go work. Wow, it's just so much that it's just really, what do you want for your life? So you can't let anything just be a distraction, because everything's going to be a distraction. Life is going to just throw so many things at you, because in the beginning, when you're trying to make a real change, there's so many things that's going to block you. So that's why that foundation is so important for what you want. That foundation that no matter what happens, no matter how you feel on top of it, your foundation is strong. Your foundation is strong because okay, I got to strengthen everything that I want is built on this foundation. I know what I want, so I have to continuously work towards that. That's what's going to take me to where I need to be. That's what's going to allow me to be in the position that I am in right this moment, on the brink, literally. And it's so crazy because the games are the 21st and the 22nd of December. So it'll literally be the last week of the year I have the chance to win the championship that I've written down at the beginning of the year.
That close! That don't happen by accident, man!
I'm so geeked. I'm so geeked when you just look at things in that perspective and see how things work out and plan out. And it's just like you just have to stay locked into what it is on your foundation. And don't get upset if things deter. If things deter and don't happen like the way that you wanted to, that's just life, man. That's just life. To get to the finals or to get to it. Oh, this is what. Oh, yes. Moving on to the next section. Man, we got to talk about this. So, situation happened in the game. So, the team that we beat, right, is matter of fact, the very first team that I played with is called Valdivia. CDV Valdivia, right? First team I ever played with in Chile. We still got the scoring record to this day here with that team when I scored 61 points. Still got one of my highest rebounding records I ever had. Same season, I had 29, and we played them and for the playoffs. So prior to making it to the playoffs, we had to play them 2 times back to back. At that moment, they were winning. They had been winning. They were on like a 5-game win streak. They just beat the number 1 team at their crib by 20. Or was up on 20. They beat them at their crib. And in that crib is one of the hardest places to play in the entire league. At their crib and at Valdivia's house. So we beat them 2 times in the regular season. That changed up everything. And that allowed the positions to change, and that made us get home court. And now we play them first, but we get home court. So we beat them the first 2 times. We beat them at our house, and then we went to their house and we beat them by 20. Now they brought in an extra import because in the playoffs they bring an extra one. They brought one in. We beat them by like 15 at our crib. The 4th time, you got to think about how hard it is to play. So basically, we're playing a 7-game series, and we got to beat them 4 times. Home away, home away. It's hard to beat any team 4 times in a row, especially in their house, on that court. And when I say, boy, it was just wild from the beginning. I'm talking about fans cussing our teammates out. One of my teammates threw the ball at a fan. It was crazy. Like, it was crazy from the jump. And like, once I seen that happen, I said, oh yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. When I say this game was back and forth, it literally went down to the last second. One of those games that was decided in the very last second. It was one of those games. And when I say it was just mayhem, like I started out real good, kind of got slumped out in the second half. Didn't really score too much in the second half, but I was just active. But it was just like it was a dog fight. We shot 6 free throws the entire game. In the playoffs. On the road. In the very last seconds. It was so crazy. It was this very last second. I gotta talk about it. So we got the ball. We up 3. We're up 3. They got the ball. We got the ball. We're up 3. We got the ball. They pass up. We run a play. Coach said we're gonna stack up. I run to half court. The other person loop around. The other person loops around, go to the corner. The other one does the same. Another loop around goes to this corner. I run back to the half court, and the man in the middle, he runs directly to the ball. I looked at my teammate because I was the guy that runs to the half court. I told my teammate, switch. You run the half court. I'm gonna run to the ball. We didn't have good communication. We both ran to the ball. They called 5 seconds. Afterwards, I should have ran to half court. Why? Because I understand I am the most watched person. Everybody know the ball gonna come to me. My teammate, who coach put in, is a very good free throw shooter. So I should have put more trust into him to knock down the free throws to seal the game and be the decoy. But what I did not want is for my teammates to see me and instinctively pass me the ball going towards there. And the last thing I want to be is like, make me be the one that go away to the basket. So if anything else fails, they throw it to me this end of the basket. But don't throw it go in that direction towards their basket. As soon as we broke, switch, we both went, 5 seconds. 5-second call. And the play before that, bro, dude must have been holding the ball for cause we playing really good defense. 7 seconds he could not get the ball in. They didn't call it. It was so close. It was so you knew it was over the time. Didn't call it. Literally 3 seconds, called the 5 seconds. And my teammate ran up to him like, are you serious? And 1 second, it was like a 0.2 second, 0.234, less than a second. For 2.2 seconds, I saw him have this look in his eye like, what are you talking about? When someone's lying, when someone just told a straight, bold-faced lie, and they can't do nothing to turn it around because their face is going to tell the truth for them. And I saw it. It was one of those faces you just cannot deny, he's lying. And his face just told on him. His eyes told no lie in that situation. He could not deny it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe it. Bro, he really just... Because he's one of the refs that I actually have, the most respect for. I have the most respect for this one. And I'm like, dang, even you, bro? Even you? I expect this from the rest of them, but I expect it from you. But I can't really say nothing. I just always just roll with whatever comes that way. It's just every day someone's going to do something that make you say, what? Him? What? You just got to really just focus on yourself the way you just don't take things for what they are. 4 agreements. The book 4 agreements is just don't take it personal. All situations, you just can't take it personal. You just got to be bro, whatever that dude got to do for his safety, because whatever you're doing is for the benefit of your life. Whatever you're doing this for, how you rep, how you play, whatever it is you do, you're doing it for the benefit of your life. For some benefit, for some reason, and you feel like this will enhance your life, that's why you do the actions that you do. So I would just live with you figuring out whatever it is that you decide, because that doesn't have nothing to do with my life. I have to be able to accept and go along with whatever happens in my life. If the ref wants to cheat, I can't control that. He's just going to cheat because he can do it. And I have to be okay with that. And live with it. The game's not over with. I can't sit here and sulk about it. I just got to go with what's in front of me. Well, the ref cheated us. Now we got to figure something out. We got to make sure we play defense. We got to make sure we play defense so we can get the dub. We got the last stop. It was the craziest game. We got the last stop. We won. We moved on to the next round. It was just a crazy situation. It was just so wild to just see. You got to really deal with that sometimes as people or just refs and stuff like that. Because my teammate, he brought up a perspective. He was like, you got to think about it. These guys probably making $100 a game. Betting is one of the biggest. Betting is one of the biggest things in the world right now. And we talked about that before, but it's just if you don't think that they can control the game, because you got to think what's the spread on this game? If you don't think that they have their hand in on it, so they can win money, because to win in that gym on the road, beat the team 4 times, I don't care who you are, that's going to be difficult. But that just shows how great of a team we got. That means we have a championship caliber team that we can beat a team 4 times in a row who was first in the league before they ran against us since I joined the team. And now we added on other people to the team. Now it's we have the pieces now to win. We now have the pieces to win. So, you know what I mean? That's all that matters. That's all I can focus on. That's all I can focus on. It's a great experience right now. It is a very, very great experience. And I want to leave with, so right before the game, I created this affirmation. I used ChatGPT to kind of break down what I wanted to do and what I wanted to say. And I told it, hey, give me an affirmation to say before the game to get me going based on this, whatever. So this is my game day affirmation that I'm going to actually use, because it's something that you do to get you in the mode. Like once you repeat, this is like it's game time. I'm ready to go. Something to recite. This is mine. You can create your own personal for whatever fits you in your temperament, your style. But this is just the one that I created and I kind of tweaked, and that I'm going to use probably for however long until I decide to change it or whatever. But this is my game day affirmation. Today is game day. I step onto the court with confidence and focus. I am prepared to play my absolute best. Every shot that I take is precise and on target. Every move is calculated, intentional, and explosive. I bring energy and enthusiasm, inspiring my teammates. A force that intimidates my opponents. I tap into my godlike power within, knowing my training and hard work have led me to this moment. I am unstoppable, unguardable, and ready for victory. My fire on defense will destroy my opponent's confidence. Today I'm not just a player, I am a transcendent player. A legend to be reckoned with. This will be the greatest game of my life. My team and I will win. Woo! That big got me fired up. That is my game day preparation. That's my game day affirmation. That just got me so fired up. Just reading it, I'm just thinking about the game and game-like situations of just, it puts you in that mode. Y'all free to use that, rewind it, snip it, turn it to an audio, and just, boy, like that got me fired up. That got me fired up. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. That's all I got for this episode, man. I'm thankful for everybody that tuned in. I hope I was able to fire you up a little bit with that game day affirmation, even though it's not a game day. You gotta be careful with that. You start using those words, and words is powerful. You be ready to hoop, and you gotta go and you ain't got nowhere to hoop. You be dunking on the doors, the door handles, and all that stuff. You better relax. Some powerful stuff right there. You hear me? But anyways, man, I'm thankful for everybody that joined, that came to watch. If you listening on Apple or Spotify, please give me a 5-star rating. Share this with a hooper out there that just wants to get their mental game right before they step onto the court. Because if you don't get this mental part right, it don't matter what you're doing on the court. You're gonna have a short career that ain't gonna last. You're not gonna be able to maximize. It's just get your mental game right. Help someone that can help someone. Because we want to see our people do good. We want, like, I'm doing this because I want my friend. I always wish somebody would have just gave me some type of game when I was growing up, and told me about this from a basketball player standpoint. You know what I mean? No one ever gave it to me for like, hey, you want to play overseas basketball? Well, you need to understand this. So share this out with someone that you know that might want to like play the game one day and enjoy it. Remember, I got a free training. If you want to be a champion like me and you want to learn how you manifest, I'll give y'all a free training video that's going to get you started to playing the game and winning. Get you to a winning mentality. I got that for free. Go pick that up. It's in the bio. I'll leave it in the bio. Remember, greatness is a habit, not a right. That's all I got. Until next time.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.